you guys will get a kick out of this. I got to tell you, you know you've arrived. My son just had his 7th birthday party, right? And we had a DJ, and there were kids there who were like 6 and 7, and they asked the DJ for Basket Case. They had to have Basket Case. They had to listen to it. And the kids were 7 years old and dancing to it. I mean,
7 years old.
what? Damn. Is that too old, or what? You missed out on them, or?
That's how old I was when I smoked my first joint.
7 years old? Well, you guys, I mean, you guys grew up pretty quickly, you'd have to say. I mean, it seems like in many ways you kind of, if not lost out on your childhood, at least you kind of had a tough enough childhood. Are you having like a second childhood now? Is that what this is about?
Like my childhood.
Mike, yeah?
Yeah.
No.
What about for you, Billy?
I don't feel like I missed out on any kind of childhood. Or,
Yeah.
I don't know, sometimes with the responsibility that's intact with what we're doing, it's you feel kind of old.
I mean, this has gotten so big so quickly for you guys. I mean, is it? It's got to be staggering. 8 million copies sold. I mean, do you wake up pinching yourself in the morning, or is this something that you've gradually come to assimilate?
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm in some kind of surreal dream or something. I really do. Sometimes sometimes it's like a nightmare, and sometimes it's like a fantasy, you know.
Has this been difficult for you? Because, I mean, you started off with this as sort of underdogs, and, you know, there's sort of an indie rock pride to kind of not being successful, and then all of a sudden you become successful. I mean, I guess you've sort of found yourself in a position of sort of defending yourself. Is that something that you noticed, Trey? I mean, is this success something that...
Not anymore. You can't You can't defend making music. It's just, people are going to think what they want to think, and that's fine. Let the rest of them get on with their lives. You know, whatever.
Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm not even going to try.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather just keep playing music, and that's what I really believe in. I don't really believe in all that other hubbub that goes on, and just more
The bureaucracy or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, the business of it you're talking about, and everything that surrounds you more, or the culture of it, because I know that you guys originally, I mean, again, coming from
It is a different type of culture. Yeah. So, you know, you'll learn about it, and you go with it, and you make yourself comfortable in it, you know.
in terms of the mainstream culture you're talking about accepting you.
I mean, we're certainly not underground.
Well, what about the fact, though, that the 7 and the 6-year-olds know Basket Case? I mean, is that something... I mean, this music has totally universal appeal. I mean, you talk about 8 to 80. I mean, technically, it really does have that kind of appeal. It's not just youth music in the sense of 15-year-olds.
7 to 80.
Exactly. But what do you think about that when you hear, like, I mean, you've really kind of entered the mainstream when you've got 7-year-old kids.
I think it's anybody. No one is too young or too old to get into something that they enjoy. You know, a lot of people might think that there's something wrong with it or something if there's a lot of young kids, but, you know, a lot of those young kids are a lot smarter than the old politicians that are running this country, you know.
Do you like the record?
Which record? The first record? The Green Day record?
Any of them.
I love, well, you gotta understand, I mean, sort of I came out of, my initial thing was coming out of the CBGB Max's Kansas City scene. I mean, that's when I started writing about this, and that was sort of where I cut my teeth. So, I mean, I hear you guys, and I mean, I hear the Ramones, I hear the Buzzcocks, I hear a little bit of the Sex Pistols attitude. I mean, that's what I do, and I'm not the type that say, hey, they're just a carbon copy of it, because I think you guys are bringing, something to it. I mean, I know that there are a lot of people my age that put you guys down for kind of, being, Xeroxes of it. I mean, complete with, criticizing the English accents and everything. But to me, it's a pretty loving tribute to that. And the main thing about it is songs. I mean, you guys have like a fucking, more hooks than a fishing pond, basically.
If you look back at our timeline, we were really never connected to any of that because we were too young.
Well, too young, absolutely.
And
missed out
by the time I got my first stereo, I was like 17 years old, and at that point I was just starting to buy records and stuff. I'd heard a lot of everything, but I never owned a lot of everything.
Grew up.
Is that era an influence on you guys, or are you really coming from a different place?
We are more of the local band community sort of thing. It's like the bands that came up from our area are bands like Fang and
or KO.
Operation Ivy, Crimson.
Well, that was the Rancid guys, right? Operation Ivy.
Yeah, previous.
Two of them.
Yeah,
and it's
Tim Armstrong. Yeah.
It's the late '70s. I completely missed out on that. I mean, I was barely even born yet.
What about Dead Kennedys and Dills and Avengers and those types of bands?
Dead Kennedys. I mean, I just
Some of it, but it was never like owning the records and diving into each one. It was like
You were not fans of it. You were too young to really be at that time.
Those things are like the first things maybe we got into. Like right around until we were like 12, 13, we started hearing different stuff. And it's like. A lot before that was just a lot of crap, a lot of crappy radio and playing guitar. But that stuff, it was good to hear. But like the European, there wasn't a whole lot of European influence and everything.
Well, what
the
about
funny thing is that people have this thing with punk rock starting in 77, 78,
right,
and then it died after that. And that was only because it became the P word after that. No one wanted to touch like underground music anymore.
Within the mainstream.
Well, because everybody thought that punk rock was the kiss of death, and through the '80s it was still around, but it was just underground.
Right. It was always around. It never really went away.
It never did. It never. I mean, not even never really. It never did. I mean, it was stronger, and it became more of a movement. It became more focused on doing things outside of the mainstream and bringing these communities together to put out, these independent labels and these small fanzines and like building up a really strong community that was a definite fuck you to the rest of the world.
Right.
And squats and stuff like that. That's where we sort of filtered out of. It wasn't like this. I don't really know anything about the Sex Pistols.
Right. Well, there was obviously a community in San Francisco, in the Bay Area, that you guys hooked into when you talk about the sort of the Gilman Street scene, which is where you guys kind of cut your teeth. There was certainly a lot of like-minded people there, or at least there was the makings of a movement there. Does it mean more than the music to you when you think about that community? And how does your success? Obviously, you can't go home again in terms of playing there or going back there, but, how does your success play off against what you're coming out of? And, how are you...
It's a completely different thing now.
Yeah.
You just take it for a totally different thing.
Well, you're removed from it.
Well,
you remove yourself from it.
You have
in
to.
A totally
Has that been
We
difficult for you guys?
We were getting so big.
No.
We were getting so big at that time, in '93, that it was...
You were breaking out of that already at that
it was
point?
already happening, and it was the only friends that we really had anymore were the three of us, and we built this band together, and this, we kind of thought about it and was like, we have a lot of friends around, and there's a lot of people that are going to stick with us no matter what we do. Let's just give it a try, and see what happens, The last thing I want to do is create limitations around myself, and because then it's not a good way to vent your creativity. It's because you have to keep moving forward, or else you're going to stick in the same place.
How's it different on this record, Trey, as compared to the past? I know the first couple you made on basically spit and glue. The third one, obviously, a major label record. You probably had more money to spend. But what's it like coming in here now? Are you able to do more? Are you able to push the envelope? Will this record sound different? Are you afraid of tampering with a formula, as it were?
Did it all the same, just as long as you know all the songs before you go into the studio.
Before you go in.
I couldn't imagine writing a song in the studio.
Yeah, so you've come in prepared, in other words. You've got the song. How about the song titles? I mean, the first record was very much... the first record, the Warner Brothers record I'm referring to, very much was about where you guys were coming from, boredom and watching TV and drinking and that kind of thing. Now, your circumstances have changed. How will the songs change? How will the backdrop change?
Well, there's a lot of songs that are sort of brink on the borderline of insanity. There's there's things like songs about places, which I'm really into. I like the thought of, even going back to the Beatles, Strawberry Fields and stuff like that. I mean, we have this one song called Stewart and the Avenue, and another song called Tightwad Hill. And those are different places, and there's a song that we did 5 years ago, which is called Christie Road. And
are these real places, or are they?
Yeah, and another thing, a song called Going to Pasalacqua. And then this record sort of goes back to the time when I was writing songs more about places and I always think if there's a song by Husker Du where they say standing in the city center in the middle of the winter. And it's kind of, you're in Minneapolis, you go to the city center in the middle of the winter and you stand there.
So it captures a time and a place. in other words.
And you kind of, it's more interesting, and I like, and a lot of it has a lot to do with
What about the anger and the frustration? Everyone talks about, will you still have that? And I would imagine you'd still have it. It would just sort of be pointed in different directions.
Yeah, I feel probably more pissed off than I've ever had in my whole life. I think there's a lot more irritations that are, when you get rid of these certain irritations from before, when you did have to have like a daily job and stuff like that, but you kind of come across a whole new realm of total morons and and just, complete foolishness all the time, and it's I don't know, it's definitely different, and I don't know, it's a little more out of control.
I find what happens with bands is, as they become as successful as you guys are, you have to necessarily sort of insulate yourself. And I had overheard your road manager or whatever saying, the backstage area, they don't want a lot of visitors, they don't want outsiders, they just want to keep it to their family and stuff. And I can understand that because, when you see the public, sort of the general public, and you often see people at their worst, at sort of their most sycophantic, their most kind of preening, their most...
Sometimes you got to fight for any kind of privacy you can get.
Yeah.
It sucks to some... it's a real... it's nice if people come up to you and say, I like your music.
Right.
I'm not going to deny it. That's a great thing. It's, people that understand, especially people that really understand where
But
you're
people often
coming
want a part of you. They want to take something away. If it's not an autograph or a swatch of a T-shirt.
You got to think that, 2 minutes of your time is an entire moment in someone's life, and then that's how I think about things like that, and I go, that's a lot of pressure.
That is a lot of pressure on considering the number of people that probably pass.
You look at both ends of it. You create the CD, something. It's this nice little package thing,
right?
And everybody gets their chance to look at it. They get their chance to criticize it, rip it apart.
It becomes theirs.
Love it to death. Yes. It's theirs.
That's fine. The product you've made for that. That's for the people.
Yeah, and but embodying that, if we're such a big piece of that, then to some extent people go, oh well, the part of you belongs to me. Mm-hmm. Not without actually saying it. But that's kind of a relationship that goes on there.
Well, you've obviously.
And plus nowadays, people are just handing out their rock stars on MTV constantly, day in and day out. It wasn't like it was with the Beatles or anything.
How do you feel about the MTV exposure? That thing just...
I don't have MTV now, so I just got rid of it. I don't like to watch other people on TV. I don't like to watch myself on TV. There's no exception.
I have no opinion of the thing, I think.
Yeah, I don't really have an opinion.
I can't say it's evil because I've gotten into it before, but I can't. I just think it's one of those things that you should, you shouldn't swim in it constantly. You know what I mean? You should just kind of fucking.
It should be taken as right. A lot of people live on it. It's on 24 hours a day. Like. But by the way, in the Basket Case video, how did you get rolled up to the drum just in time for the? How long did that take? I always marvel. I love that little moment. How you roll up and this, the second you do, you're on.
Well, it's like when you do that much dope.
The timing is secondary, right?
When you're that spun, my friend, you get anything you want down the first time. It was a one take.
That was a one-take shot?
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
He's a one-take wonder, man.
That's incredible.
I just want to say that it's really hard to talk about where you stand within like when you talk to someone about like your disposition and where you're at right now, because I don't know where I'm at.
It changes. It's sort of a constant change.
Well, yeah, and also it's a matter of warming up to somebody when you talk about things like that. It's like when I'm talking to you, I don't know you.
Right. Of course.
And this conversation is almost artificial.
Right. It's a fake intimacy. You're revealing what you're feeling at this second, but it might not have any relevance 24 hours from now or even 10 minutes.
No, it has
no way
relevance.
in real life would you have a structured conversation like this whatsoever. And it's,
where I'm asking the questions and you're giving me the answers.
When it's structured, we're bound to tighten up before you throw the punches or whatever. So how can we truly trust you?
Sometimes
No,
you
that's
can-
how you can't because obviously you don't have final cut on this.
Yeah.
I mean, I can use your
Your content.
comments and out of it in any context I want, basically.
Yeah.
Essentially, though, the media has been fairly kind to you guys. I mean, it doesn't seem like you've taken too much
but
bashing.
This year
I mean,
we really got to see people take advantage of their art form, which is the press, you know, and we got to see people taking advantage of their art form by capitalizing on other people's art form, which is what
cannibalizing what you do, in other words.
It's like biting the hand that feeds you, you know, almost to some extent.
Right.
And the way they do it's almost a holier than thou attitude, and some, you know, and the fact that sometimes you do interviews and you're on trial more than an interview, you know,
Well, these
it
things are
leads
tough.
people
I actually don't. I mean, I wouldn't enjoy it having like a different person. I mean, sitting down and then being pelted with questions and having to answer. I mean, it's a sort
sometimes
of.
you feel like a politician, and
Do you feel like you represent anything? I mean, I know a lot of journalists would come to you and say, "Hey,
I
you're
feel
the
like
voice of a generation." I mean,
I feel like that pressure has been thrown on me. I don't feel like I do it. I just the only thing I can really think
you're
about
like
is
a ball player in that way, like a Charles Barkley who says, "I do not want to be a role model. Don't follow me. I'm a musician. I didn't say I was a moral guide or that what I was doing was right or what I said is right."
I mean, I feel sorry for politicians because I'm sure they get this way more than we do, and I feel sorry for them just for the fact that they're stupid enough to be a politician. It's
well, you've got the best of both worlds. I mean, you've got the power of a politician, and yet you don't really have, the responsibility. Basically, I mean,
the only thing that we're not gonna go out and like completely have an image overhaul or completely just do something that's just silly. We're not into being silly. If you think about an artist like Tom Petty, it's like he knows when to duck out of the way. He knows when to come up with the good songs. He doesn't. He's not.
So you like the way he's held his image?
Yeah, I love. He doesn't do a lot of posturing. It's just, he doesn't talk about. He doesn't really talk about a certain kind of genre of music. It's just like Tom Petty, take it or leave it. And that's the way I kind of think of this band in a lot of ways. It's like this is us, take it or leave it.
Yeah. What about? That was a pretty good line. What's been happening on the? Everyone's been talking about the management struggle with you guys. Is there anything that you can add to what happened?
We wanted to manage ourselves. That's all.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I mean,
we've always managed it ourselves over the course of the last year or two, year and a half, 2 years. We've learned a lot, and we've learned enough to know that we need, that we
Are you
the only one that the only ones who know what is truly, truly, truly good for us, without even saying yes or no to a lot of things, is just in general.
Our departing with our managers is kind of like artistic differences between bandmates. It's like they want to go one direction, we want to go a different one. So
Which is fine.
They're
good
so
at
we're
what they do.
what was the direction that they wanted to take the band in?
I don't know. I'm not
No,
going to.
they weren't taking.
I'm really, it's. You're a good journalist,
But it's not so. All right, a couple of things that it's not about It's not about a merchandising situation, nor is it about the two of them leaking a song to radio.
Nothing to do with money.
It has nothing to do with money, you say.
It's more character. It's just different personalities, and we clash.
So you're not going to go with another big name manager then to get in a situation
We
that.
couldn't go with anybody else but ourselves.
Who's going to be handling? I mean, is your road manager now going to be? What's his name, Randy?
Yeah.
So he's basically going to be handling the nuts and bolts of that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Randy's
But
the
you
man.
feel as if this offers you more direct control over what you do?
Well, it's us.
We don't have to deal with the middleman anymore. It's just we can deal with people on more of a direct basis, or else we can map out our future a lot better. We know what we want better than anybody else does.
Our managers, our old managers, they have a great future of their own lined up and everything, and they're stoked. They do. They have.
Well, it looks like a
lot of things
situation
going
to
on.
me where they
Yeah.
have a lot of things on their plate, and it seems to
exactly,
me that they can't pay as much attention to a group like this as might be warranted.
I don't know.
or too much. You know, either I don't
Or
know.
too much attention.
Either one.
Either
It
one
doesn't
is too
matter.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just-
Either one equals the
We
same
were just
thing.
different people, and we just go. Now we're going different. We want to go different direction.
Yeah, we always
That's
try
all
to
really
grow
want
I
up.
go a
It's
different
constantly-
direction with this interview.
Well, I didn't mean.
Let's
I,
go
you
on
know,
to something different.
yeah. No,
It's like I
I
said-
can appreciate you guys don't want to talk
Honestly,
about
it
this.
was
I
a
mean, it's
character
dirty
thing.
laundry, and who
Yeah.
wants to air it? But I mean, people are buzzing about it, and I just, you know, wanted to throw it at you. Should I take off a shoe now, Trey? Ding, ding, ding.
Buckets, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't tell him why he has to take a shit off.
How was the?
We got a couple of buckets with boots in it.
How was
Buckets around 'em.
how was the songwriting process this time around? I mean, when did you get a chance to really, you know, sit down and write this material? Did it come while you were touring, or did
It's
you take
mostly
some
when I'm
time
at
off?
home. That's why I like when I talk about songs that are about places and stuff. And
Right.
I like to be at home for that because I like to deal with I like to deal with more of a familiar atmosphere, and I think I'm way more at ease and like I have a better perspective on things because being on tour sometimes is an emotional roller coaster. You know, you either play like shit or you play like you play great, and that can really trigger any kind of feeling that you have that entire
So it's
time.
difficult to write on the road because
Yeah.
you're so caught up in the day-to-day
Yeah,
and
and
the emotions.
I don't want to write songs about the next hotel room that I'm in or
You
driving
tend to
down
get
that
isolated,
road.
though, don't you? I mean, the great part of the first record was, I mean, it really felt like a life lived. I mean, it
Who's
felt authentic.
yeah, but
What happens when you continue to get when you get isolated? Go ahead, Mike.
Who's going to relate to what they think is a fantasy life?
Like
which
Bon
is a
Jovi.
fantasy life. I mean, which is a fantasy life in a lot of ways.
Like
You're living
Bon
a
Jovi,
fantasy, right?
Who's
like
gonna
fucking,
relate to
who's gonna
any
relate
of
to
that
Bon
crap?
Jovi
Yeah,
bitching about like
Who's gonna relate
bitching
to
about like oh yeah you know
Homeless or
it's
something?
no like Bon Jovi bitching about like oh yeah I'm a cowboy like it sucks to get in my jet and I gotta fly all the
They
way
didn't-
to St. Louis
I heard today
and then I
that
gotta
they didn't book a U.S. tour because they couldn't sell their tickets, and that's just fine with me. Except for in Jersey, they can sell like a lot of tickets in Jersey.
You're right.
what's gonna
Well,
happen
that's different, Jersey.
what's gonna happen to the Grateful Dead now like all those like deadheads
They're gonna go to Fish now.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
hey, Billy, any reaction to Jerry Garcia's death
I
today?
think it
Any,
sucks. I think it's a really sad.
I mean, for San Francisco
the
especially.
typical thing for me to say, fuck that hippie, I'm glad he's dead. There's no such thing as a good dead hippie, just a dead hippie or whatever.
You know, I think he did a lot of great things for the Bay Area, and I think it's kind of a pretty sad loss. You know.
Man was a ball of fire catalyst for fucking hippie revolution, and as much as people may or may not like it, they have to realize they're living with a change that he helped progress.
I don't like his music, but you know that guy. You know, I'm not really into the Grateful Dead at all. I've never seen them play, but I think they had a good idea about things. Like they had this one
But next to
program.
L. Ron Hubbard, he was running shit.
Yeah,
Anyone
what
to
in San
hold-
Francisco you mean?
No,
Jerry?
To
Or just
hold, you know, to hold the
I
fan
mean,
base.
he had a cult going there, didn't he?
He really
to-
did.
to
They had a
hold that
cottage
fan base
industry.
Without the media fucking blitz every year,
That's
the
right.
albums that go out on every year, to hold that fan base and tour like that, they had to be doing something
That's
right.
amazing.
He also
Billy.
donated money too to this certain group that I'm not sure
Well,
what
yeah,
it
he
was.
put it behind his beliefs. How about you guys? Are you thinking about social consciousness?
We
Are
are,
there
yeah,
things,
we did.
I know you've done for some of the queer groups. You know, I mean, you've
Well-
been supportive of non-sexist
Yeah.
type of attitudes
Well,
and stuff like that.
we did two shows in the Bay Area at the Inter J Kaiser. Is for a few different organizations. One is called Food Not Bombs. One's called
Food Not Bombs.
One's called the Homeless Coalition, and also the free medical clinics in Berkeley and San Francisco. And we gave all of the profits back to them
merchandise,
of
The
merchandise,
whole whatever
everything.
accrued, yeah.
And because Food Not Bombs is a really good hands-on organization where they shovel people food to people.
Yeah.
Get to
So it's a direct thing. You're not getting involved in a bureaucracy
Yeah, and there's
situation
a
where
lot
the
of
money's going to go to
Yeah.
upkeep and overhead and,
And
stuff like that.
And they're always in jeopardy because it's illegal to pass out free food and to give people free clothing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do they do it on the
They
actually
do
on
right
the streets?
street, yeah, People's Park in Berkeley. That's the only one I'm really familiar with. And you know, free medical clinics gives people the opportunity to get free attention from someone if they. We did it.
Like if I could
That's right.
fucking if if you're like a teenager and like you get some fucking shit and you don't want to tell your parents about it, you can go down to the free clinic and get
Everything's
fixed all up, man.
It's all confidential.
And like some punk with somebody with a pierced nose and green hair will probably like give you a shot in your ass.
One thing that's fucked up about this
So,
country
so
is...
in other words, you don't have to face an authority figure or
Yeah.
anything like
Right.
that. I mean, if your peers...
You gotta face it. You urethral genital
There's one thing that's fucked up about this country.
Your urethral genital throat swab.
One thing that's
That's
fucked up.
worse than any authority figure.
One thing that's fucked up about this country is that there's no such thing as any kind of socialized medicine, and you end up paying out your ass to try to get rid of something that is going to fucking kill you, and that's and there's someone you got to think, who's that person that's sitting here collecting all these checks for AIDS research? Why the fuck isn't there a cure for AIDS right now? There should fucking be one.
There's enough doctors
There's
to be
no
working on
reason
it.
in the world. There's so many doctors, but everybody's got to get fucking paid. And what they don't understand is this is gonna fucking lead the entire human race into distinction. And that's
Distinction, extinction, yeah. Not distinction, of
Well,
course.
we'd be distinct planet.
Distinct.
As to have
Yeah,
distinct plant and extinct.
Yeah.
We're living anyway.
yeah.
Hey, tell me about, to another subject entirely, just Woodstock. Did you plan what went on, or was it something that just developed out of the situation? Did you go out there thinking I'm going to fuck up?
We talked to everyone as they came in the game. Personally.
Right.
We said the fourth song, all right?
Mud, yeah, throw the mud, throw
We're
the
gonna do
mud.
a wink and a twitch and a little like two-step.
So it actually happened, it happened spontaneously out of the whole situation.
We egged it on, but it's maybe no.
What was going through your mind, Billy, at the time? I mean, what did it start out as sort of? Did you try to actually do a gig, or
Started out, we tried to do a gig, and then
what was running through your mind? You were sort of,
the only thing I could think of was as they were attacking, it was like just attack back. So play it,
Kill or be killed, man.
beat them at their own game, just go, full force.
So it turned into war, basically.
Yeah, it was like a big war, but it was a fun thing. It was like a.
Yeah, it was sort of like a.
I think people
It
respected.
was a good feeling. I mean, it wasn't like a war. It was sort of like a kind of a friendly fuck. Yeah, right, a food fight or a mud fight, I guess.
Yeah, it was like, oh, please don't hit me. Don't get my guitar all messy. It's like, fuck that, man. I'm gonna throw this shit back.
Happy fun fight.
Your mom didn't like it though, did she? She got it on the pay-per-view.
No,
and
well,
what,
because
she
I
had
got
a fit, or
I
what?
got naked. Well, I pulled my pants down, and that's what the problem was.
But you got hurt, Mike, didn't you? What did you do? Chip a tooth or something in the whole?
Just like
What was it? An overzealous security
There's a
guard?
bunch of teeth, and yeah, and I.
Did you get capped or what?
Huh?
You get capped?
No,
or?
I still have to deal with them. So,
You mean the dental plan
Yeah.
hasn't kicked in yet?
No, it's just that I don't have time to deal with them, and so I just deal with the pain of them actually hurting, and it kind of sucks on that matter.
Is
But
it still pain? I mean, do you still get your nerves
shit
exposed?
happens. It could have been someone in the crowd.
Yeah, well, you guys play a very physical kind of set. I mean, there's tons of little maladies,
Shit,
right?
shit has been bound to break wherever we are. I suppose.
Chaos. What kind of run do you think you can have with this? I mean, you said at first,
We're not
5.
looking for a run. We're looking to do what we do no matter what.
Is this a sprint or is this a marathon? I mean,
It's not even
neither.
that.
It's like
It's
it's
neither,
like
'cause
Tom Hanks
both of
and
those-
shit. It's like fucking. It's
This
like
shit is
It's like Gump.
Forrest motherfucking Gump.
This is a no trophy having motherfucker is what this is. This is a no marathon. This is a sit back, relax, and enjoy your future life. Fucking.
What about 8 million records sold? When does
Work our butts off.
money start going into the bank account? Have you already received like the big, massive, checks?
That's not your business.
There you go. I don't have. Pick up another shoe. No, I don't want to know what the balance is, but I want to know like when it actually gets there.
People actually wonder about
None
that
of
stuff,
it
but if
is.
you want to
I'm
know,
curious.
we
Go
pretty
then,
much
so get yourself a record contract.
Go through the
Sell about
process.
8 million records, and then look, check your mail every day.
I mean, it's,
When you get your check.
Wait,
then
you
write
know.
a little article
Do you
about
ask?
it.
Do you ask every?
Thank you, Greg.
Do you ask every band you interview this?
What they're saying? No. Why not? Who sold 8 million? Who sold 8 million copies?
Fucking
It's like
rock.
winning. I don't. Is it like winning the lottery? I mean, there's
No,
there's
not at
25,000 punk bands out
Not
there.
at all. You know why?
It's
Tell
like
me.
robbing the
Because
lottery.
when you win the lottery,
It's like robbing the Brinks truck that has the lottery.
when you win the lottery, it doesn't. I mean, nobody's gonna judge you over winning the lottery. How did you get your money? I won the lottery. Like my Ferrari, you know.
No questions asked. Yeah, right.
I,
Gotcha.
I mean, the only time I get shit is when, you know, when I pull up in my Lamborghini and all my gold and diamond rings and my solid gold platform shoes and and my suit made of $100 bills.
Your gold
You
lame
know,
Elvis
What I
Presley.
learned as a child is no matter what the person's profession is, if they're a gas station attendant, a waitress, or an accountant, it's rude to ask them how much money they make.
That was, hey, listen, I didn't ask you
got-
to tell
you know
me,
what?
you know,
Yeah.
what the
When I was a
bottom
little
line
kid,
was.
yeah.
I was more into a sort of a generalized,
big-
like, you
I
know,
got a
what
big
happened?
talk about
How does it
that.
happen?
Surprise, surprise, we're fucking rich. I mean, you know, I mean, if that's what you want to hear, if that's what
Yeah.
you want to
Well,
write
that's no
about,
surprise.
If you want-
I'm not
if anyone
obsessed with that.
If anybody ever wanted to give me shit about it, pull me out of my solid gold Ferrari and do it. If you can pick my dump ass car out of anybody else's on the city, I'll give you
I mean,
$5.
I've had the same car for the past 4 years, and
So in other words, you haven't spent it by any means yet.
No, it's irrelevant to what we do in our lives because if you change your lifestyle dramatically, you're just going to end up, you know, something different than what you were. And what you were is what you got you where you are. And if you're not what you were, then you can't be what you are where you are now.
So you're trying not to let it change you. In other words,
Who's
that's a
on
good one, isn't it?
Okay,
What about
one more.
one more what?
And your last question
Question.
is...
It's a thick article.
What?
Because it's been like...
Are you the one that says
Yes,
it's
no,
over now?
no,
You didn't
no.
know? The money thing makes you guys nervous?
No.
This isn't here, it's my
I'll
job.
tell you why. Because all these questions, we go through these twice a day, and it's an emotional thing for us. That's why we got all of a sudden we got a little more hyper. Because
You're testy about it.
no, because it's like being on. Why wouldn't you ask somebody if they won the lottery? You know, why wouldn't you get in depth on it as to how they got their money? You know, if they want.
No, it's none of my
It's
business.
that
I
type of
realize
thing.
that. That's sort of not what I'm getting at.
Well, no,
I'm getting at the more broad thing of.
You get paid
Listen,
per
question?
per sack of shit, dirt that you get.
Let me see.
That I
You
turn
pay
in?
What
You
I
pay
wonder how
by the
often.
page or by like the juicy tidbits.
Well, I'd like there to be a juicy tidbit, that's for sure. But I mean, no. Hey, listen, I understand. That's.
well, I know
You know,
you're a
I'm out of
journalist.
bounds. I'm just trying to.
Your job.
Yeah, I'm just trying to press the thing. You guys can tell me I'm full. You know, fuck off.
Well,
That's
No, but
within
you
your-
know what? You
within
know what
your
it
realm.
is. That question incites or insinuates.
What is it?
It
Yeah.
insinuates us not having any integrity. Because we shouldn't be getting paid for what we do.
Absolutely
And
not. No,
if,
no,
if
that's not
anybody
my-
ever told me that, you know what I tell them? You're right. Fuck you. Ain't like that. Don't play the lottery, motherfucker.
Mike, and on top of all this, on top of all the success that we've had in the last year, Mike won the motherfucking lottery anyway.
That's right, man.
What did you get? The big three or something?
I won $40.
Dude, there you go.
Like 40.
What about family? Just okay. I'll wrap up now with this. But the fact is, you guys came from really, you know, hard circumstances, working class lives. I mean, you know, basically, you know, you didn't have a lot of money growing up. What are the pressures around you in terms of family? You know, the two of you having your own family, but other family, and what's the, you know, the pressures of suddenly being rich? I mean, that's got to play. It's got to play something with your
I thought I
head.
had a big family before.
Well, that's what I mean. The cousins come out of the woodwork, do they not?
People are not
Yeah.
coming.
Really?
Yeah,
Our
that's true.
families
They
have a
do.
lot of pride, though. They're not pulling up every
Well,
every
not my
day.
immediate, not with my brothers and sisters and stuff, you know.
But there's pressure still you want to do for them, don't you? I mean, it seems to me.
Well, I mean, you gotta. I come from a small town that has a lot of pride, you know.
So they won't ask. They won't hand out.
They
No
don't ask
handouts.
for any handouts and stuff. They don't expect any. And I don't know. I don't know. I you know, the pride thing issue is like it is pretty irrelevant to me. But you know, if they were you know needed. If I knew they need my help, then I haven't given them help before.
What about your own family?
Just like I expected in return some kind of help for any kind of pressure that I'm going through. You know, I mean, there's a lot of mental anguish that's at stake now. You know, a lot more than anybody can even possibly dream of
Pressure?
having.
What is it? What? I mean, obviously now you've got an
Pressure
organization. You've got people that rely on you.
is having an entity owned by the entire world and having children to care about and try and raise them in a stable environment.
And no
And
matter
people
who-
being prodding to twist that environment
No
and
matter-
do what they want because it's
Right.
theirs. But it's
because
not.
they feel it's theirs.
But it's not.
But what you guys have to do is carve out a place where nobody is allowed in, where it could be yours. And what about raising a family under the glare of the spotlight? I mean, I would imagine you'd
Well,
want to keep them away from the
Of
public.
course, I
And
never want my kid to in any way exploit my child at all. And on top of
exploit
that,
your own child. You
yeah.
mean? Yeah.
And on top of that, we're dealing with 8 million people that are expecting us to wow the hell out of them, and I'm not gonna say, hey man, we're gonna rock your socks off. I don't know. That's one thing I don't know anymore. I don't know how.
You're not promising anything, in
Yeah,
other words.
yeah.
You can only do what you can do. You can make the best record you can, and what about living up to that? That's a hard thing, isn't it?
At this
Oh,
point,
yeah.
I mean, there's nowhere to go but down, basically.
we're all very happy with what we have done, and I think at this point we have pushed ourselves very hard to not care what the outcome is, because we are happy with ourselves, and that's all that matters. It's like at this point in my life, I can have a heart condition, and I'm feeling it constantly, like all the time, and it's more than ever in my life. It's constantly acting up, and I'm thinking, you know what?
What about for
Why
you?
the
You got
fuck do I care? In 100 years, man, you think I care about any of that to some extent, To any extent about that. Why would why should I care? I mean, you have to care, but to push it all aside and ask a favor of people, if they care for you in any way whatsoever, just to back the fuck off. Sometimes it's nice.
Trey has the daughter. I'm
You know.
sorry, I forgot. Guys, thank you. Appreciate it.